The night I lost my job. I stood in the kitchen with the termination letter still folded in my jacket pocket. My wife, Sarah, didn't even ask to see it. She didn't ask how I felt. She didn't ask what happened. She just stared at me with contempt. Her lips curled like she had been waiting for this day. "Pack your bags," she hissed. "Failures don't belong here." And then she spit on me, on the life we had built, on the vows she once swore. She walked out the door with him, Mark, her new lover, without looking back. I didn't stop her. I didn't tell her about the company I secretly owned under a different name. I didn't tell her about the beach house in my name, the offshore accounts, the investments that made me worth more than she could ever dream. I just stood there in silence. Because silence in moments like that is a blade sharper than words. Once I would have died for her. We met young when money was scarce and ambition was all we had. She pushed me to climb, told me I was destined for more. And I believed her. Every late night at the office, every missed dinner, every sacrifice. I justified it as building a future for us. She smiled at my efforts back then. She wore the gifts I bought with my overtime pay. She kissed me like I was her hero. But over time, the smile shifted. Admiration curdled into impatience. She stopped asking when I'd be home, stopped waiting up, stopped pretending. I thought it was stress. I thought it was the weight of bills or maybe the child we never had. But now I know it was him. Mark, the lover, the parasite, the man she had been feeding my place to piece by piece. The signs had been there. Late night texts she angled away from me. Business trips that didn't match the receipts. Perfume I didn't recognize clinging to her clothes. I pretended not to see, pretended not to hear until one night I followed her. She wasn't going to her sister's. She wasn't running errands. She was going to him. I watched her step into his arms like she had once stepped into mine. I saw her laugh, tilt her head, kiss him with the tenderness I hadn't tasted in years. That was the night something inside me split. Pain didn't consume me. It sharpened me. The humiliation didn't break me. It rebuilt me. I didn't scream. I didn't confront. I didn't beg. I started planning. First, I called my attorney, the one she didn't know about. We rewrote ownership papers, locked down assets, shifted property titles. Quietly, legally, perfectly. Second, I installed cameras. Hidden ones. In the house. In the car she thought was hers. Every kiss, every whisper, every betrayal, they were mine. Captured, stored, undeniable. Third, I baited them. I let her believe I was unraveling. I let her think I was jobless, powerless, dependent. She grew bold in her cruelty. She mocked me in whispers she thought I couldn't hear. She stopped hiding the texts. She spent nights out without excuse. I gave her the rope. She tightened the noose herself. The night came when she tried to humiliate me beyond repair. A dinner party at her lover's house, though she didn't call him that. To the world, Mark was just a friend. But she invited me, parading me like a broken man. A cautionary tale. I sat there quietly while she laughed too loudly at his jokes, touched his arm too freely. Then I stood, raised my glass, and spoke. "I'd like to thank you all for being here. Tonight's special. It's the night I stopped being silent." I pulled out the small projector I'd brought. With one click, the room went dark except for the images on the wall. Her face, his face, their bodies entangled. Their words caught on hidden microphones. The gasps in the room were sharp knives cutting through the false smiles. Sarah froze. Mark stuttered. I didn't look at her. I looked at him. Enjoying my house, my wine, my hospitality. Don't get too comfortable. The deed's in my name. You'll be out by morning. Then to her. As for you, Sarah, you wanted a man who could provide. Congratulations. You just lost one. Who already did. The fallout was swift, brutal, and public. Within 24 hours, divorce papers were filed. The evidence, adultery caught on record, left Sarah with nothing. No house, no car, no alimony. Every asset traced back to me. Her lover, Mark, his reputation shattered. His business partners withdrew, unwilling to be associated with scandal. His wife, yes, he had one, serve him papers of her own. I watched them crumble, not with rage, but with a stillness they'll never understand. Sarah showed up at my beach house weeks later, barefoot, desperate. The confident woman who spit on me had vanished. What stood before me was hollow, trembling. "Please," she whispered. "I made a mistake. We can fix this." I let her stand in silence just long enough for her to believe there was hope. Then I leaned in close and said, calm as the tide behind me, "You were right that night. Failures don't belong here." And I closed the door. I don't think about her much anymore. The rage burned clean, leaving only clarity. She wanted to bury me. Instead, she buried herself. My company thrives. My name grows. The beach house is quiet except for the ocean, and the occasional guest who knows the difference between loyalty and greed. I lost a wife, yes, but I gained something greater. The satisfaction of knowing the one thing she'll never escape. The memory of the man she underestimated. Because the night I lost my job, I didn't lose anything that mattered. I was already richer than she could ever imagine. And now she lives every day, regretting the night she spit on the man who owned her downfall.